From Illinois Public Media News, this is 217 Today. I'm Kimberly Schofield. It's Wednesday, August 21st. Coming up, we'll listen to a conversation to what some delegates at the DNC have to say about the convention and Kamala Harris entering the presidential race. That story in just a few minutes, but first, these headlines. Urbana Middle School students will lock their phones in Yonder pouches during the school day starting next week. Some parents say they are worried about how their students will reach them in an emergency. UMS Assistant Principal Julia Lowry told the school board yesterday faculty and staff are there to help.
In an emergency, we need the adults to be the adults and handle the situation. And in some ways, them not being the ones trying to handle the situation is helpful.
After school, students will unlock their personal pouch using an unlocking device. Officials expect the new program to help students focus and engage more in the classroom. A teenager from Champaign is under arrest, accused of making threats against 3 local schools. Police say the 13-year-old made a social media post that contained threats and referenced the 3 area middle schools by name. Following an interview with the student and a parent on Monday, the teen was placed under arrest and transported to the Juvenile Detention Center on an initial charge of aggravated disorderly conduct. More than a dozen protesters were arrested after a clash with police outside Chicago's Israeli consulate. Lisa Dwyer reports on more arrests in Chicago.
Dozens of pro-Palestinian protesters charged a line of police in an intense standoff with hundreds of officers outside the Israeli consulate, about 2 miles away from the Democratic National Convention. Please get to custody by the Chicago Police Department. Protesters chanted. The protests were in stark contrast to Monday's rally, which was largely peaceful and was far below estimates of organizers who had predicted more than 20,000 people would show up. More protests are planned throughout the week. I'm Lisa Dwyer.
Warning of a difficult fight ahead, former President Barack Obama and Michelle Obama called on the nation to embrace Kamala Harris. Speaking at the Democratic National Convention, the former First Lady addressed Donald Trump's comment about black jobs.
Who's going to tell him that the job he's currently seeking might just be one of those black jobs?
Mrs. Obama also declared America Hope is making a comeback. Planned Parenthood Great Rivers from downstate Illinois offered something unique this week during the Democratic National Convention: free vasectomies and medication abortion from a parking lot. Illinois has become a destination for abortions. Access has vanished across much of the South and Midwest. Kristen Schorsch was there in the West Loop.
I'm standing in a parking lot on a busy corner where the mobile health clinic is parked. It looks like an RV. It says healthcare no matter where. There's music playing, tacos for sale at a food truck. And inside the RV, Dr. Colleen McNicholas is offering free vasectomies and medication abortion.
We're just really excited to provide the opportunity for the thousands of folks who are coming to Illinois to demonstrate for them that, it is possible to start closing some healthcare gaps for folks.
I took a quick tour inside the mobile clinic. You might briefly think you're in a doctor's office. There's a waiting room. It's a bench, really. There are 2 rooms with exam tables and ultrasound machines. But during the few hours I was there were more reporters milling in the parking lot than patients.
We did have a couple of folks not show up. It's hard to know why that happened. Certainly there are protesters here, which makes accessing health care sometimes scary.
One of them was Connie Becker with Progressive Anti-Abortion Uprising. She stood on a sidewalk on the other side of the fence. She shouted through a megaphone aimed at the RV. There was a woman inside.
You will never forget that you allowed these people to kill your baby out of a food truck in a parking lot in Chicago. Is that how you want to remember your child?
People in the parking lot put up a tarp over the fence to block the protesters' view to the RV. McNicholas says there were 10 men who received vasectomies yesterday. They usually cost around $800. And so far, at least a dozen people have received or signed up to end their pregnancies with pills. Today was the last day for appointments. With thousands of people in Chicago for the convention, the mobile clinic was a symbol for abortion access. It's a topic a lot of politicians hope will get people to the polls in November. For WBEZ News, I'm Kristen Schorsch.
Still to come, we'll listen to what some delegates at the DNC have to say about the convention and Kamala Harris entering the presidential race. That story is coming up next on 217 Today.
Next time on the 21st show, only 2 black women have ever been elected to the U.S. Senate. One of them is Kamala Harris. The other will join me on the show, former Illinois U.S. Senator Carol Moseley Braun. Plus, we'll take a deep dive into the ways Latino voters are approaching the 2024 elections. I'm Brian Mackey, and that's next time on the 21st show. Join us.
You're listening to 217 Today. I'm Kimberly Schofield. Today is day 3 of the Democratic National Convention in Chicago. Last night, the Democrats held a symbolic roll call in which delegates from each state pledged their support for the Democratic nominee, as DJ Cassidy played a mix of state-specific songs. IPM producer Christine Hatfield has been talking to several delegates about the convention, Joe Biden stepping out of the race, and Kamala Harris entering the presidential race. Here's what they had to say.
My name is Linda May. I'm from Silverado, California. A proud delegate. Well, I waited until there was going to be a really historic convention, and I found the right one, I think. I'm ecstatic. I ran as a Biden delegate. I was a Biden delegate when there was all the ambivalence going on about whether he should step down or not. I was polled several times and asked many questions, and my answer was always, if he steps down, then I'll follow his lead. But until he steps down, I'm a Biden candidate and a Biden delegate. And so when he did step down, I was actually in a chat room with other delegates when we got the announcement. And my biggest concern was that there would be chaos, that there would be infighting and struggling and whatever. And as soon as he said he supported Kamala, it's like all the pieces fell into place. There was no opposition, and the energy level shot through the roof.
My name is Casey Fitzgerald. I'm from Aurora, Illinois, in Kane County. I'm a delegate for the 11th Congressional District, and I'm president of the Kane County Young Democrats. So I was fully in support of the president. I was originally a delegate for him. But the excitement we've seen around Kamala, especially in terms of the young voters and the young Democrats, is really tangible. I have people who I've been asking over and over, what is it going to take to get you invested and interested? And the answer was an energetic, really vibrant candidate like Kamala.
I'm Pam Davidson. I live in Galesburg, Illinois, and I'm a delegate for Kamala out of the 17th Congressional District. Well, I live in a rural area in Knox County. Out in the rural areas, it's totally red. But there's Democrats out there that we need to talk to, and because they are there. I think it's wonderful. I think he thought enough about our country and the Democratic Party to pull us together, to unite us as one, and you can truly see that he's done that. And by his speech yesterday, he thought less of himself and more of us to make that decision. He already had someone in place that knew the job and be ready from day one, and it has the power to bring us together, which she's doing right now, and I'm excited. Oh yes, a woman of color, from Asian to black. Hey, she done broke the ceiling, and just put your boots on because the glass will be everywhere.
Jay Briney, Havana, Illinois. I've been involved probably the last 25, 30 years in Illinois politics. I don't think I've ever seen it this upbeat.
You were listening to Linda May from California, Casey Fitzgerald from Aurora, Pam Davidson from Galesburg, and Jay Brennery from Havana. All 4 shared their opinions about the Democratic National Convention with IPM's Christine Hatfield. Share your thoughts later today as the 21st show covers the DNC. That's today at 11 a.m. on AM 580 and tonight at 6 on FM 90.9. Tonight, you can watch Minnesota Governor Tim Walz accept the nomination for vice president on WILL TV. Coverage from PBS NewsHour starts at 7. And finally, in your forecast, meteorologist Andrew Pritchard says today will be sunny with a high of 75 degrees. That's it for today. 217 Today is produced by Stephanie Mosqueda. Reporting today contributed by Anuligo Ochuba, Reginald Hardwick, Lisa Dwyer, Kristen Schorsch, and Christine Hatfield. Music by the Kilbourne Alley Blues Band. Reginald Hardwick is our news director. I'm Kimberly Schofield. 217 Today is a production of Illinois Public Media. Thanks for listening, stay safe, and we'll talk to you again tomorrow.